Hello, welcome to Your Sovereign Soul. My name is Sienna and I'm one of the coaches here at Your Sovereign Soul. This is my 200th take of this video because it seems like every which thing is trying to distract me from doing it, whether it's a dog barking or the washing machine going or a child walking past or anyway, I'm just going to get this information out. Here we go. The topic is when you are starting to date again, after leaving a toxic relationship, it is very important that you are aware of people who give you excessive forms of validation. Now, there is a caveat because not everyone who gives you forms of validation or even excessive are toxic. Those people could just be using that. That's just their form of their giving of their love language. Where some people give gifts, some people are very touchy-feely, some people or give you lots of validation. So a lot of people in the narcissistic community will say that anyone who gives you excessive forms of validation or love bombing you and be very scared. I understand why, because my ex was very good at validation. And that was one of the things that kind of got me hooked. But my current person that I am with, after a form of time that I waited, also gives validation. And there has been moments where I've been like, oh my gosh, this might be a love bomber. And so I'm just saying, have discernment. And how do you have discernment? So discernment is, does the love bombing feel like flattery? Is the love bombing and the validation, does the validation feel like flattery or does it feel genuine? Does the validation, is it come after maybe a little bit of a dig? Watch what is surrounding it. So that's one thing. Another is look at everything else. Is their validation surrounded by extreme neediness, almost a desperation to have you, whether it's your time or they need you to be able to talk to them at certain hours all the time. You feel like you don't have a life anymore and you feel guilty for living it outside of them. Obviously some narcissism comes in different forms. Are they pressuring you? Are they pushing past boundaries? So the love bombing in and of itself does not necessarily mean you're dealing with a toxic person or a narcissist person. It could just be, like I said, a person who likes to give forms of validation. And I know myself, I used to not be as validative. Not that I wasn't thinking about it. That wasn't my form of giving or showing love. But I have since, with realizing that, become more of a validated person. So if I think something, I'm just going to say it a little bit more than I would have before. Some people might say, oh my gosh, she's being more validative, therefore she might be more of a love bomber, or blah, blah, blah. And it's all subjective because what you may feel is excessive forms of validation, someone else feels like it's just a normal thing. So enjoy the validation, because you're worthy of it. And, I think validation should be part of any healthy relationship, because then why are you with that person if you're not going to tell them in words, which is the human communicative way, that, oh my gosh, I think you're amazing and I love you and you're sexy or you're handsome or you're beautiful or you're smart or whatever. Humans don't communicate with just going around grabbing each other's butts or, handing each other gifts. We communicate with words. And I believe that excessive forms of validation, again, is subjective. I believe you have to be weary of it still, especially after coming from a toxic relationship, especially if you're not used to it. And make sure that if there is excessive forms of flattery, that you feel good about it, that it feels sincere, that it feels genuine, that their words and actions align, that you're not feeling like you are losing aspects of yourself when you're with them, that you're not feeling tired and exhausted after and maybe overly emotional and you don't know why. Are you having to cancel plans with friends that you normally have friends, plans with, just to spend time with them? Because if not, they'll be upset, or, they'll be, oh, you don't want to spend time with me. Don't you love me? Blah, blah, blah. There's enough information out there on what to avoid. I'm just speaking on the fact that love bombing does happen with a lot of narcissists. Those I've spoken to, it seems like a very common trait is love bombing. But it is also a common trait in just a loving relationship too. And some might say, well, it's not excessive. But again, excessive is subjective. And if it is excessive for you, just to be aware of it. Watch everything else. More than anything, follow your intuition. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not just from hearing the words, but how do you feel inside? And, part of this whole channel is about kind of reclaiming your sovereignty within yourself. And that means listening to your intuition. How does your intuition feel? Is the flattery or the validation becoming too much flattery? Does it feel off? If it feels off, then it probably is off. Look at everything else. But if it's coming from a person that's how they show their love and admiration for you, then allow it to come in and appreciate it and love it. And know that not everyone who gives you validation, even lots of validation, is a narcissist or toxic. That could just be how they show their love. But again, because I have to make sure I put the small print in here before anyone freaks out, be aware of how it makes you feel. If it's too good to be true, it may be. And use discernment, listen to your intuition. And it may take you a little bit of time to hone all that because you pretty much ignored it for a while. But you know what is best for you. Innately, you do. So follow that. So anyway, I'm going to go before I am interrupted once again. But I hope this finds you well. Please like, subscribe, share, comment if you'd like. And if you would love to talk to someone who has been there, give us a call. We are here for you. We have, like I said, been there, done that. And it's a beautiful day here in the Pacific Northwest. And I hope wherever you are, this finds you well. And you are having a blessed and beautiful day because you're beautiful and you're amazing and you're worthy. And there you go.